remote working, this, you guys are all, everybody, I mean, it's just, we've all had enough. So it's productive. Everybody's doing well. But, and many people are not ready to come back to the office. We're starting to talk about when are we going to, I'm in the office now, as you can probably see. And we're starting to talk about when can people come back and, how are we going to make it work?
We need to get back into the office. We have tried so many different ways of slicing it, but it's just not something we've managed to do yet. And the reality is our office is a tiny converted flat above a noodle shop, and it is in no way COVID ready.
We have one teammate who is sick now. She got a negative COVID test, but she feels she still has it. We did have one other team member have it. Okay, we allow it, and somebody gets sick, and the whole team is now wiped out with COVID, and that's also not a good situation to be in. I'm allowed to be here because there's massive building works going on at my place.
You will hear some loud noise unless people are on lunch break, which I don't think they are because it's 11 o'clock. So you will hear construction happening outside my house, which they've chosen to refurbish the entire front of the house. It's been locked down for several weeks. I'm stressed out. I'm relaxed. I'm cool. I'm calm. It's just so loud here. So loud. It's loud here. It's annoying. And I want to go back in the office, and I don't care about these links you sent me. I'm going back to the office.
But this is my point. For a lot of people, working from home is no joy.
Yeah.
All sorts of reasons, and it creates other stresses that have nothing to do with really do with the work.
Yeah, totally.
So I think finding some way, whether you hose the place down with bleach every night or whatever you do, so that the people who are working under stress at home can get out.
People, including me, are not meant to be working indoors 12 hours a day. We have to draw boundaries and look after ourselves and each other. And we also have to get a product launched. So there's a lot to balance.
Yeah, I thought I saw some 8 p.m. plus messages on the app delivery channel. Was it last night? That's not a usual thing for us, from except for you, Barry, but which can be 11 p.m. But I don't typically see Chris online at 8:30 or beyond. You're going to have to just be protective of your time. And if there's stuff that you feel like I just can't prioritize, like leadership team related stuff for this week or next week or whatever, it's just things you just have to speak up about that and make the call to kind of protect yourself first, but also protect that we get a product delivered, because there's nothing for us to meet about if we don't have that.
This week, I think I've logged a bit early and left a bit late most days. And honestly, my laptop was on in the background. I was cooking at the same time, watching things happen. So I wasn't actually working solidly till 8. I was mostly baking.
This is a team that loves to cook. Back in the day, if you'd come to the office, you'd see we have a full-size kitchen. You'd see people in there cooking lunch for themselves, for their teammates, people sitting around the kitchen table, eating together. It's quite a family atmosphere. And so we wanted to keep that going during lockdown.
I feel like we should have dramatic cooking show music.
27 minutes left.
No!
However, given the new government guidelines, I know that I'm feeling a lot more nervous than I was last week. I think the atmosphere in the country has changed somewhat.
What is the guidance about office working? Because I couldn't find it. I went looking on headlines this morning, but I didn't have time to really go through it. I saw a headline, I swear, that said they were asking people not to go back to the office. But when I looked at the new guidelines that were laid out, it didn't say, please don't go back to the office. So
they are asking people to stay at home. If you can work from home, they're asking you to stay at home. That's the line.
Our principle all along is we follow the government's guidance. If the government is saying to us, please don't go to the office, then I don't think we should be going to the office, quite honestly. And that sucks, and I hate to say it, but I just,
I'm wondering whether we can take a sort of more innovative approach in terms of reallocating our office budget in a more creative way to allow people to work in different ways, whether that's giving everyone in the leadership money to distribute to people if they want to get a one-on-one space or go for lunch, or just something like that might be safer and sort of more creative.
The thing that we're looking at doing is giving up the office space that we have. It's not being used. It's not suitable for the world that we live in now. And it just seems like it's time. And especially with the new guidelines coming in, the rule of 6, we cannot have what we had last Friday. That's not going to happen.
Having not seen each other for 6 months, Joe thought it'd be a good idea to get everyone together in the park. It was a beautiful day. We were supposed to do some work, but we were just like, nah.
The next time we can meet up like that will be outside somewhere in spring. If we got hot desking passes for people, COVID safe as best you can, office space, would you use it?
I think I would quite enjoy going in maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah, there are definitely parts of home working I love, and then there are weeks where I'm like, I want out of my house.
As much as work from home is convenient, it'd be nice to meet up in a group and do all the sort of like collaborative exercises together.
I would definitely want to utilize a space if we had it.
One of the things that is known to go wrong with remote working is like the people who are in the office together get all this context and sharing and clubbing up, and then the one person who's at home is like left out and feels like they're not getting synced up and not. So what would we do? So would it be like, oh, we're going to all be in Tuesday, Thursday in the product team, therefore we don't have to deal with that problem? Or is that something we just don't worry about right now and we figure out in the future, but we just know that that's something we have to think about?
I think it has the potential to do us in, to have somebody who feels left out, or who either emotionally or just in terms of actual work context or whatever, it can be quite damaging to us. And I don't know how we've avoided it. Like we seem to get along swimmingly, and it would be nice to like not lose that.
You guys are going to have to take extra effort to make sure it works and make sure people are included, make sure that you are going to have to give up some personal freedom. I don't think it's going to be any old day you feel like being at home or being in the office. I think you're going to have to put the team first. But if you're willing to do that, I think we can figure out the rest of it.
So we'd probably be looking at like a decision or like the first week of October, I would hope. Mm-hmm. Gauge everyone's temperature, actually literally as well as metaphorically.
So who's going to miss 61B? I'm going to miss 61B.
I'm going to miss the kitchen. Like,
I always liked that place. I kind of had a soft spot for that place.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it just rose tinted glasses? Are we just looking at the rosy past, not remembering the cockroaches and the like music from downstairs and the like crazy stuff that happened on the street outside?
It's sad, 61B is what we could afford at the time. It was our first, home, it's the end of an era. So I'm kind of sad about that. That was our first office after having worked out of the British Library for 2 years, starting up Quinn. We have to accept that we're going to have to move on. I'm also excited about what comes next.